boss, turn on the news.
The story of the century unfolded this past week with the announcement of the detection of gravity waves.
Oh my god, that's quite the discovery.
No, keep watching.
Both creation science physicists, Dr. John Hartnett and Dr. Russell D. Humphreys, have both expressed praise for the scientific work and the significance of the discovery.
It is a bit strange that there's only 2 creation science physicists, but I still don't get it.
No. Keep watching.
Both pointed out that this has nothing to do with verifying the Big Bang, and that the alleged Big Bang is, in fact, untestable, and thus not even science.
Oh, geez, Juby, congratulations. Very astute of your creation science physicist to point out that an experiment that wasn't created to detect the Big Bang didn't detect the Big Bang. Congratulations, everyone. Good job. Go home. Celebrate. Drink some wine. Fuck your wives. You deserve it.
Space, time, and gravity are intertwined, connected.
Well, yeah, sorta, I guess. Space and time are essentially the same thing. They're like 2 properties of the same thing. Gravity isn't a thing the same way that space and time are a thing. Gravity is more like an effect that happens on space and time. Alright, whatever. Juby, just make your case.
Clocks lower in elevation and thus closer to the center of Earth's gravity ran slower than clocks at high elevation or in space, which were farther from Earth's gravitational center. And so we see that time itself is a variable, and it's influenced by gravity. E equals mc squared. Stands for energy, m stands for mass, and c stands for the speed of light. Now, the speed of light, of course, is measured as distance over time. Time is an essential part of this critical equation, and it affects and is affected by matter and energy.
Sure, yeah. Why don't you tell the folks at home that the time dilation is all relative to the position of the observer, though.
The closer you move to the speed of light, the more time slows down.
Yes, but here's the important thing. It's not your time that's slowing down, it's the time of your surroundings.
If a large mass moves through space, then it distorts gravity,
Creates gravity.
and time.
Wait, what?
Then it distorts gravity and time around it.
You mean gravity distorts space-time?
Time will slow down around the large mass, and so this wave of slower time and gravity will move through space with the mass.
Well, it doesn't move with the mass so much as it's created by the mass, but yeah.
The waves of this movement can radiate outward through this fabric of space and time. They were observing the waves from what is theorized as the most monstrous stellar object there is, a black hole.
Actually, a black hole is not the most... whatever. Fuck it.
If these theoretical black holes moved very quickly, then theoretically they would produce massive waves of gravity spreading throughout the universe from their location. What the researchers appear to have measured was gravity waves from 2 black holes as they collided and became one. LIGO, Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, one at Hanford in Washington State, and one at Livingston, Louisiana. The laser beam goes through a beam splitter which splits the laser beam down the 2 arms. The laser light waves come back at exactly the same time, then effectively the waves cancel each other out. If a gravity wave passes through the system, it will temporarily make one of the arms ever so slightly shorter than the other. On September 14th, 2015, they received a signal from the interferometer that was so strong and so clear that no one on the team believed it at first. Whatever caused this signal was traveling about the speed of light. The signal was so clear and so strong that they were able to estimate the mass of the 2 black holes. These black holes were 29 and 36 times the mass of our sun and combined into a single black hole of an estimated 62 solar masses.
Right, but what's the part that creationists are crying about, Juby? How far away is that black hole?
Approximately 1.3 billion light years away. A light year is a distance, the distance it takes for light to travel its current speed in 1 year. Its current speed
What the fuck? This is the second video I've done where somebody said the speed of light used to be faster. Everything we know about physics today is dependent on the speed of light being a constant throughout the existence of the universe. If the speed of light changes, then all of physics changes with it. That 300,000 kilometer per second speed limit is not a limitation of light itself, but is actually a limitation of the universe. No information can travel across the universe faster than 300 kilometers per second.
Significantly, this also demonstrates that the laws of nature are the same in the other parts of the universe as they are here.
Does it? I mean, I think it's more just that our study of the black holes colliding is dependent on our understanding of the laws of the universe being universal. That doesn't actually necessarily mean that the laws are the same where the black holes collided. We just are assuming they are for the sake of our study.
Now, all too often, I hear the anti-theists calling upon unknown conditions elsewhere in the universe to solve their problems for the origin of life, for example.
Oh, fuck. Juby, you couldn't get through one video without mentioning abiogenesis?
They are calling upon and hoping for different laws of nature to solve the dilemma they have that in order to produce life from non-life, they must violate well-established laws of nature.
When people say unknown conditions, they don't mean the laws of physics were different. Chemistry is complicated, like baking a cake. You can't just toss a bunch of ingredients into an oven and expect a perfect cake to pop out. Things like temperature, pressure, duration, all of those kinds of factors come into play, and we can't possibly know all of those factors.
Such as thermodynamics.
Okay, let's hammer this home, please. This is the last time I'm going to talk about this. The second law of thermodynamics says that order always decreases and disorder always increases. But this only applies to closed systems, and the planet Earth, sure as fuck, is not a closed system. First of all, we have the sun beating its goddamn rays down on the planet. The sun feeds the planet with all the energy that it needs to grow life. And on top of that, the rest of the universe is belting us with fucking rays of other shit. There's more than enough energy in the fucking universe to create life before the whole universe dies from heat death. Now, can we please go back to talking about the black holes, please? Fuck.
Some might jump up and down and get all excited saying, these black holes were, by your own admission, 1.3 billion light years away. So those gravitational waves are 1.3 billion years old. How do you explain that in a 6,000-year-old universe, huh, smarty pants? I call upon the phenomenon which is stunningly verified right here with this discovery. Time is a variable altered by things like gravity. So the time here on Earth runs magnitudes slower than it does out in deep space.
Well, gravity and g-forces do affect time, but magnitude slower? No. Besides, I hate to point out here, Juby, that you are not the one that discovered this. Einstein knew that time dilation was part of gravity, part of the theory of special relativity. Time is a variable that is factored in when physics are applied to deep space movement. If we treat deep space time as real time, and from the perspective of deep space time look at Earth time, it only changes by a few nanoseconds.
The gravity around these black holes would be enormous, and thus time would be incredibly slow there relative to Earth. That was the whole point of Einstein's relativity. It's all relative.
Right, from our perspective, the closer something else is to the event horizon of a black hole, the slower time goes, and it almost completely stands still at the event horizon.
The moment you get out in deep space, the speed of light is the same as here on Earth, but time is different. Time is considerably faster. Time is in the equation. So while here on Earth the speed of light is approximately 300,000 kilometers per second, out in deep space it might be 300,000 kilometers per millisecond, according to Earth's clocks. The time changed, not the distance, and thus it's like the speed of light is considerably faster out where there is no gravity.
No, time is not affected that much by Earth's gravity or the sun's gravity. Time does not run 1,000 times faster in deep space than it does here on Earth. But even if it did, let's do the math here. 1.3 billion years divided by 1,000 is still 1.3 million, meaning it would have taken those gravity waves 1.3 million years to reach Earth. That still doesn't support your young Earth hypothesis. Time can't ever be sped up from the conditions of the universe. It can only ever be slowed down.
Events happening even 1 billion years ago can be seen and observed here because the time scale is different there than it is here.
What, did you forget the plot of your own hypothesis here? Of course things that happened billions of years ago we watch here now on Earth, because it takes billions of years for the light from those events to reach us.
Those who believe in deep time have the same problem of energy and matter getting across the vast distances of the universe in their billions of years. The cosmic background radiation is too evenly distributed. All of that energy would have to exceed the speed of light in order to so evenly distribute around the universe in the measly 14 billion years they claim the universe has been around.
Yes, and the energy did defy the speed of light to so evenly distribute across the universe. How exactly did it do that? Well, the energy itself didn't actually defy the speed of light. The space that the energy traveled through expanded faster than the speed of light. See, information can't travel through space faster than 300 kilometers per second, but space can expand faster than 300 kilometers per second, and thus another nail is placed in the coffin of Juby's hypothesis. Because that 1.3 billion light years that was between us and those black holes that collided was likely growing and expanding during the time those gravity waves were traveling towards us, meaning it would actually take more time for the gravity waves to reach Earth as opposed to less time.
This discovery of gravity waves doesn't cause any problems for young Earth, young universe creationists.
Yeah, it does. I think that's what I've been saying.
In fact, the discovery may have already pointed out a stunning failure in the deep time cosmologies. The LIGO interferometers had only been turned on for hours. They got their first hit of major gravitational waves. Just how often are these stellar events happening?
Often enough that we can detect one? Not often enough that we haven't detected a second one? I don't know.
If you believe in deep time, you can only have so many of these stellar events per year. In this case, if the rate of black holes and black hole coalescence is really, really high, billions of years of such events would turn the entire universe into a gigantic black hole.
Sure, if it's really, really, really high, but what makes you think that it would be so high? We have no reason to believe that there's that many. In fact, it's estimated that an observable black hole merger like this can only happen once every 10,000-ish years in every galaxy, which is why LIGO has a range of 6 billion light years. We have to watch a lot of galaxies. Star systems are so far away from each other that when stars finally collapse into black holes, the chances of those two black holes ever meeting is almost zero. These two black holes that merged likely came from the same star system and are both dead stars from a binary system that eventually spun around each other and collided.
Even at high occurrence rates, a young universe does not have this problem and fits well with the biblical cosmology that has God creating the stars in the sky for seasons, signs, and times only a few thousand years ago.
Dude, I can't even tell you how many levels of fucked your hypothesis is. First of all, the theory of special relativity and the theory of relativity were both invented by Einstein over a century ago, which you do actually mention in this video several times. I edited it out, I'm sorry. But time being a variable is something that Einstein himself predicted. In fact, it's part of the theory of special relativity, which means that it's a variable that is factored in whenever physicists today measure things that happen in deep space. On top of that, the gravity that's created by the two black holes is so intense that it slows down the time around the black holes so much to the point where it would actually take even longer for those gravity waves to escape the space around those black holes, meaning that you're actually adding more time to the distance, not taking time away. And sure, the space between our two galaxies has time running at a slightly faster pitch than it is here on Earth, but I bet if we figured out what galaxy those gravity waves came from and we pointed a telescope there, we'd find that that galaxy was redshifting, meaning the space between our galaxy and theirs is expanding fast enough that it's stretching light out, which means it may have taken longer for those gravity waves to reach us as opposed to a shorter period of time. Every time I try to apply your logic to this problem, it just ends up adding more time to the distance that those gravity waves had to travel. This discovery completely spits in the face of this young Earth hypothesis. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw and you'd like to see more Armored Skeptic, please subscribe. If you absolutely love me, you can support me on Patreon. Or if you have a passing affection for me, you can buy my t-shirt. Links in the description.
Actually, a black hole is not the most. Whatever. Fuck it.